first of all, what is it? And tell me about kind of the genesis story of this thing.
Yeah, well, as you were saying, I think, anytime you approach a milestone event, at least for me, in your life or your career, it's time to take a little bit of stock and figure out what's next. The interesting thing about, or I guess the very fortunate thing about my retirement was I had some time to think about it and plan for it. And I tend to plan, just that's me. And so I also had made a couple of very, I think, pretty simple observations. And like a lot of things that you start up, it all kind of came out of a question like, why is this so hard? Or why is there not something that does blank? I noticed a lot of folks that a lot of my peers and colleagues who retired before me, 6 months into retirement, were pretty disoriented, unhappy, and in some cases, literally depressed. And I started to think, well, I don't want that to be me. So how do I figure out a way around it? And I naively went to to the web and typed in retirement strategy, expecting to find a framework or, some sort of guidebook or something. And instead I was just inundated with financial management stuff, when to take social security, what is a 401k required minimum distribution. And I thought, well, look, if money doesn't buy you happiness, then wealth management cannot be the answer to retirement readiness. And so I started working on what that framework might look like. I did a bunch of reading on happiness and longevity. There's tons of stuff out there, both academic research and popular thought in terms of health, longevity, um, wealth, psychology, people, social connection, social architecture, passions, purpose, even place, how where you live and where you like to go determines your happiness in the rest of your life. And so I just started literally working with AI, working in this case with a Claude project to build a plan for each of those dimensions that was roughly equivalent to the wealth management plan. And as I was doing that, I was finishing up at Dell and I kept hearing people mention that this was such a groundbreaking time because it was literally possible to start a company with a bunch of AI agents and no employees if you had an idea. And I don't really know exactly when. It was middle of February, I think, or how, but I just thought, well, geez, instead of me walking through this with 6 different agents or projects in Claude, one for health, one for wealth, one for place, one for passion, maybe I could orchestrate it somehow. And if I could do that, maybe I could even package it up and share it with people for free. And that kind of was the genesis of the idea. And it turned out that once I started thinking about building it with AI, and I was curious about vibe coding and all the stuff you could do with Claude Code, uh, the I guess the other big thought was maybe I could not only build it with AI, maybe I could build it around AI. And if I built it around AI, geez, this is the worst it'll ever be. If it's already good at diagnosing where I am in my life and what I need to do to be really happy in retirement, maybe it'll get even better at that over time if I build it the right way. So I tried really early on to separate the notion of legacy SaaS kind of thinking and truly AI enabled, AI assisted uh, product design, and it seemed to strike a nerve.